And backed by disobeying laws. The enemy said, caught up on our flaws.
Let's cut it short. Islam family, welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. I had to cut that short. I had some things going on. What had happened was I was like running behind today, because things been happening. It's called life. You know what I mean? My life is not YouTube. Uh-oh, we see somebody named Janelle Thomas in the chat with the WTH. Let me tell you what you just entered into, Miss Janelle Thomas. You have entered into the world of Tahaka Bay and the world of the Moors. And this is Moorish World TV. Tonight, you will not get the horse and pony show. You ain't getting that tonight. So if you came for the horse and pony show, you might have to wait till next week. Because everybody that I've challenged just proved to me that they was teaching Prophet Noble Ali more science, and no one stepped up. They say I got liquor in my cup. That's what they say. They say in my red cup. Man, this is water. I used to drink years ago, but that was years ago. I like water now. It's real water, like real H2O. They accuse me of attacking Taj. They accuse me, and I guess you can kind of put it that way, but really, I was on the information. I never called him out his name. I never said anything derogatory about the brother. I really just said he doesn't teach Prophet Noble Ali more science. But that was yesterday. That was yesterday. Y'all need to leave yesterday alone. I'll get back to that soon enough. But today, we have my brother Ishmael Bey, fresh on these shores. Because he left, right? He came back. He there. Hey, man, he got some new information. I see my brother Lasada Tunica L in the building. Man, listen, let's get this show on the road. Let me do this, man. Let's make it proper. Can we make it proper? In the tradition of the Moorish Science Temple of America and in the customs of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I rise giving praise to the great God of the universe, Allah. I give honor to his noble, illustrious Prophet Noble Ali. I give honor to the 35 people in counting watching in this chat room, because in this chat room here, you're going to walk away learning something. I mean, sometimes I might get a little worked up and cut people off, do stuff, but you're going to learn something. And today, you're about to learn something that you have yet to learn from my brother Ishmael Bey, because he's telling me that he got some new cutting edge information. And so I'm going to fall back. You know what I mean? Right now, Moorish World TV is taking the back seat. And this is Amen Ra African Moorish Scholarship Show. Islam Ishmael Bey. Are you there, my brother?
Peace and blessings, Brother Jaka. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, brother, I hear you loud and clear, brother. I love, hey, let me tell you something. I ain't no sissy or no punk or nothing, brother. But when your voice come on the airwaves, man, I'm just ready to sit back and just take it all in, man. I'm ready to hear you.
I'll play it.
I told you, man, you cut like a hot knife going through butter. And so, hey, I look forward to your scholarship. Talk to the people. Let them know who you are.
Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah, brother. I'm Brother Ishmael Bey of Amin Ra Squad African Moorish Scholarship. Is a team of us as scholars, and what we do is we try to advance the culture. You know, what we try to do is tie all of our history as Moors, as Moorish Americans, as Moors and our Africa roots, and what we try to do is just advance it, you know, at the highest level. And I'm a servant who comes in the name of Prophet Noble Ali, and my duty. And in doing that, there's nowhere that cannot be gone to. There's no information that cannot be obtained in order to bring that truth back in an uncompromising way, and to make sure that it's done in a fair, equitable, and honest cipher. So that's what I try to do, brother. That's what I try to represent, to make sure that the Moors are being advanced properly, and we're dispelling all of the myths. Anyone who's coming with the misinformation, that gets dealt with step by step by step. And it's crumbling. At every single level is crumbling. But what we're doing simultaneously is we're not only killing the myth, but we're replacing it with the truth. So we're getting rid of what isn't true, and we're giving you what is true at the same time. And that's all praise is due to Allah, brother.
Brother Ish, I'm telling you, Ish, I can't say I can't say enough how much I appreciate you. And the next brother that's coming up and introduce himself, Brother Lasana Tunikael, because it is time for we get rid of those cherry tree myths. It is time we get rid of all of these wives' tales that have been centered around our Prophet Noble Drew Ali to try to make him a spook or some weird old circus performer and all of this weird stuff. It's time to get rid of that. And that's what brings me to my brother Lasana Tunagael, because one thing that brother taught me, that brother, if you can't produce it and prove it, then you don't even need to talk about it. And that's right. How it is in the Ali's Men chat. If you can't produce and prove what you said, I don't care how long it's been said. It could have been said over and over and over about this cherry tree and going up in the White House and getting the flag and all that. If you can't produce facts, you got to get rid of that. And so with that, let me bring my brother Lasana to the KL in. Brother, tell people who you are. You there, my brother?
Islam, all right.
Yeah, Islam, brother. Talk to me, brother. Talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
As you know, we rise giving all praise due to Allah. Highest honor to his thought manifested in the flesh, our Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Give honor to all the Moorish Americans, you know what I'm saying, Muslims. And one thing about my good brother, honors, Islam, Brother Ishmael Bey.
Islam, great king. So great to have you, sir. Thank you for honoring us with your presence this evening. I'm humble.
Gratitude. Well, I appreciate the opportunity and the invitation. Honors to Brother Tahaka Bey.
Yes, sir.
You've been controversial lately. Well, you know, what's going on, you know what I'm saying? You know, but again, go ahead, Mo.
I just wanted to say more that out of the millions of Moors around, somebody got to be a Tahaka Bey.
Fair enough. Mo. You definitely have your lane. All is well, you know. But you know, it's important to differentiate. And as you mentioned, the Ali's Men chat, we're well familiar with all the Moorish American traditions, myths, etc. And we just have a simple standard that we ask ones when they come in professing certain things, making certain assertions. We like, show it to us so we can go see it as well. We can find it for ourselves, because man knows not by being told. That's what our doctrine said.
Indeed.
And man, ones kick, scream, blaze out in a flame of glory, you know what I'm saying, by those simple standards. Show it to us, you know. We have to be able to recognize, represent this not only within our bubble, but in the larger world as well, in academic spheres and political spheres, you know. And it definitely qualifies, but you have to do your due diligence to be able to back up what it is you're saying. So we definitely give due honors to our brother Ishmael Bey. He has us all in great anticipation of what he's about to share. But hopefully with each new grain of truth that's revealed, it pushes us, it coalesces us more toward a happy medium, a mean, as my brother Atkinsill would say, where we can all be ourselves, yet we have this standard that we are held to if we all gonna be claiming the same thing.
Indeed.
And I like the silverback on what my brother had just stated, because I think that's so important that we keep it into perspective. This is yet just another footstep in our journey. You understand? My job is just to add another footstep to that journey. It's not the end. It's certainly not the beginning. The claims have been made by multiple people. Multiple Muslims have made the claim in the past. So as another step in that journey of us being where we are, because we're already at home, another step in that journey is proving what's being said. Not just to say it, but to prove it. As a 5%er, I'm here to show and prove. And that should be the standard that we all do.
Indeed. And who else we got in the chat here? Obalefa. Is that right? Is that right? Can you break it up, boy?
Brother Obalafia, that's one of my main commanders in my crew. Brother
Obalafia. We're gonna see if we can get you come in. But what we're gonna do, we want to get the show on the road. Stand by. We're gonna bring you in. Ish, let's get this thing started, Ish, because you've been talking. Now, hold up. Ish ain't my friend for a few seconds. Ish, you've been talking a lot of Ish. Nah.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, we must not use any rash words. But Ish, you've been talking a lot of stuff, Ish. You've been talking some stuff.
Yes, sir.
You got some information that have yet to be seen. You have told the people. Let me tell you something. We got 53 people in the chat. If it jumped up to 60, it's going to jump up and down all night, and it's going to probably get more than that because they're waiting to hear this information that you have been talking about for the last few days. Brother, you've been talking up some stuff, and people are ready for it. So I'm going to let you take the show away, but I would like you to introduce your brother that you brought on the show with you. I don't know the brother. But it's a pleasure to meet because if you're a friend of Ish, then you're a friend of mine. I was told. Now that's another song. But go ahead, Ish.
Yeah, brother Obalafia, we go way back, man. Like, for every commander, you got another
yes,
commander.
Sir.
So brother, Obalafia, he's like my right hand, and we both kind of move like Al Heyman. The people who really don't know me, I have a really small inner circle. So the people who know me, they interact with me. There's a whole other group of people that have never heard of me, don't know me, because I try to move in shadows. He moves in shadows of shadows that even I can't even go into. Brother Obalafia is that overseer. He's my 6'4", 5', 6'6" bodyguard, protector, captain, capo. He's all of that stuff behind the scenes. He helps run the forums. He moves as an entity and as my brother. So I wanted to make sure that he was here so that the public can really understand the level of how we move. We don't engage in the back and forth and the petty stuff no more. I put that stuff away years ago in order to say I'm going to serve the people. So that's who he is, and I would like for the brother to introduce himself.
Yes, sir. Come on in, bro.
Peace. My name is Obalafia. Peace. I'm sorry if you can't hear me well, family. I'm on speakerphone. I'm in Pennsylvania. I am a Moor.
You are loud and clear.
Okay. I'm a Moor, family. I'm a Moreno. You know what I'm saying? I came from Hispanic parentage. I knew I was a Moreno because people around me said that I was a Moreno. I started. You hear me, family?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
My Moorish history goes back to parentage. And I don't mean no disrespect because I love the Moorish Science Temple. I did a lot of time in New York City and I built with the brothers often, quite often. But my Moorish heritage comes from me speaking Spanish. And when I work security in some of these bars, I speak with Mexicans, Guatemalans, and they know exactly who we are. You just got to talk Spanish, talk your language, know your history, and they will treat you as you are. They know who the Moors are, family. So that's I'm here representing that little bit of peace. Peace.
Indeed. So the floor is yours, my brother. I'm waiting. I know
yes,
my brother Lasana Tudagael, he's a scholar. I know he's waiting. So let's get it.
Yes, sir. What I did was I emailed to you the link. It should be in your actual email, your Tahaka Bey. I think it's at your Yahoo account. And I sent that to you. And what I want to do is first lay the background of kind of the areas of what we're dealing with. So if we, as you're pulling that up, no problem. The first one that if you can pull it up, it would just be a simple vintage map of Florida, 1657. We'll be dealing with some dates that are earlier than that, but I think it gives a good overview of the area and the territory of kind of what we're dealing with. And I think that's very, very important to make sure we have a proper background to lay the foundation, brother.
All right. I don't see it at the moment, but give me a second.
No problem. Let's see. It should be in your actual email, and it was sent to. Let's see. Yeah, it was sent.
Hold on.
It should be labeled as Morocco in the West, brother. And it should be at your taharkabay@yahoo.com account.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't know what's going.
Also, make sure you check your spam folder also, because it may have went to like a spam folder or something like that. So just check that also. But it's labeled Morocco in the West, bro.
I'm checking it right now.
And you know what? Actually, you know, if you can't find it, that's fine. I'll just send it to you in the back, and we can just pull it up that way, live time.
That'll work. That'll work.
You know us, we adapt. So I just sent it to you on the back chat room. You can just copy that and post it, as well as making sure that we can probably post it so that the people in the chat room can get the information live. If you are not able to get the information live, please feel free to join our forum. It is at Ahmed Ross Squad African Moorish Scholarship on Facebook. All of the links will be presented there, as well as the photos of what's going to be shared tonight will be there also.
All right, I'm with you now, brother. There we go. Hit me in the back chat. Hit me in the back chat. Hit me in the back chat.
So let me see if you have you pulled that part of it up yet? The one that I sent to the back.
I got you.
Okay. Yes. So what that does is that gives us the overview of Spain or of Florida, because that's what they call Florida. So as you can see, it took up quite a bit of space, this whole Florida area. So it's a lot more than, of course, the state that we have now, which we should all know. But we need to see how far up it was, because you see where the France and the Canada and all that. So we're dealing with a lot of territory here when Spain was calling it Florida. That's the major part of what we're dealing with. I think that's very, very important to understand the content of what we're dealing with. So I'm going to pull up I'm going to go and put on my camera, Brother Taharka. And I'm going to let you know that the country that I went to when I was in South America, I went to the country of Bel Air. And Bel Air is really the northern part of South America. Beautiful area, beautiful beaches. You go by the beach, you see like 60 and 70 flamingos. Beautiful area. But also there in Bel Air, this is the pamphlet there, there's a museum. It's called the Terra Nova Museum. This museum was made, it was opened in 2016. So it's a little over, only a year old. But it's very important that when we do go out of country, that we go to the museums, that we go to the barrios, that we go to the highways and the byways of these different areas in order to obtain that truth. You understand? You with me, Brother Tarka?
Yes, sir. I'm right with you, brother.
Yes, sir. And the reason why that's so very important is because these countries like Bel Air is 200 years older than America. America was in, what, 1776? This place was already in like 1470 something, right? So it's almost 200 years older than America. So the records that they have are from Spain, because Spain was dealing with expanding, and they were in their battle with Portuguese at that time. So as you study the older maps of what you're looking for in America, it's always wise to be familiar with being able to read Spanish, understanding the Spanish culture, as well as French culture, because you have many of the maps that are in French. And if you're dealing with like Kemet, you go and you study a little bit of German so that you can learn how to decipher what you're looking at. So at the Bel Air, if you go to the Bel Air museum, we went on the second floor. And as we went up on the second floor, well, first of all, it goes over, it's a small museum itself, but it is 2 floors and it covers multiple rooms. It deals with the African history. And I'm gonna go and start doing some of the snorkeling so that we can get proper identification of the slave ships. They had artifacts from slave ships, locations of slave ships and things like that. So I'm accumulating all of this data. I'll be sharing some of those photos in the forum also. So anyways, when I go up to the second floor, I look up and there's a map up on the ceiling. It's kind of tilted from the ceiling, but it's 6 feet by 6 feet. So it's a big map that's hanging there. And as I look up, I see the South America and I see the North America, and then I see Morocco on the North American part of it, which was like crazy to see that on a map, right? So I go and I point it out, and I'm going to send you the photo of what I saw, because I took a photo of it when I was there. So I'm going to send you that photo, and then you can show the people exactly what it looks like, Brother Taharka. Are you still with me, brother?
Yes, brother. I'm like a sponge, brother.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the one, I was looking at some of the other parts of the map, you know, and it was really nice. It was it had the Gulf of Mexico on there. It had the Bahamas on there. This map is like from the 1500s, right? And it deal with the Bahamas on there on the map. And hold on one second. Where's that at?
So the map that you showed, that you put up there first, this map is an older map
that was pretty old, but I just wanted to show how much of what we call America they called Florida. I just wanted to point that out to show what it was. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So if you look on that photo that I just sent you on your Facebook, it's going to show the Bahamas right there. And I just want to show that this particular map is just showing how old the Bahamas are. Let me know when you pull that up, brother.
All right, 1 second.
Okay, it should be in your Facebook inbox.
I see what's going on. Let me stop sharing real quick. I can't pull it up. We'll be sharing. Okay.
All right.
I'll do it in 1 second.
All right.
So I see it. All right, got you.
Yes,
We're gonna freestyle this thing, but we're gonna get it right.
Yeah, and if you got any questions, please feel free to ask at the time. Because like I said, like going to these countries, I was gonna go to the one that was in Aruba. But I'm really grateful that this one must have happened for a particular reason, because my wife had purchased these museum tickets. I didn't even know a museum was there, but she's the person who told me, no, it's a new museum. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Then I'll be able to go and we can go analyze some of the maps that are there. So I'm really grateful that she was able to purchase those tickets. So that was for a particular reason. I'm very grateful for that. You just let me know when you're able to pull that up and you can kind of see that Bahama photo. And then you're able to kind of see what we're dealing with. There you go. So you see the Bahamas picture right there, right? And if you notice, you know, they put the things like the sea dragon there next to it. That's generally an indication of like storms. You know, they would have to put different images on there to symbolize certain things. So maybe like stormy weather and things like that. They actually have currents. They have like the Gulf currents in there and things like that. But you see the Bahamas. But if you look up there right above it, you see that right there above it where that 310 is? Look up there next to that 310. I'm going to send you a more clear picture of that, brother. But maybe you can actually zoom it in and you can kind of pull that up.
Okay, 1 second. You're talking about
yes, sir.
Right here. She won't zoom while sharing like that. But
nah, that's all right. No, I'll make it real easy for you. Just click on the next picture that I sent to you.
All right, let me stop sharing real quick. Then. All right, 1 moment. I got you. I see. There you go.
And you got the, let's see that second photo. Okay, you got the.
All right, there we go.
What does that say, brother?
Morocco.
That's the Spanish, that's the French for Morocco. That says Morocco, brother. And if you pull up, and if you put that in, if you simply Google that, you'll see that it shows the Morocco that comes up.
Right. So is that off of the Florida coast, if you will?
That's off the Florida coast. It's just beneath where you would have the Georgia going into the Carolina area. And this isn't the only map. Like I stated, I'm going to produce multiple maps on that. So we have the other maps that are available on the link that, okay, well, you don't have that map, but that's okay. I still have the other links here for you, so that's no problem. And again, we can pull this all up live time, so that's no problem.
Right.
I'm going to tell you where to click on the map so that you can go directly to the website, Brother Saharka, and your viewers can also go directly to the map, and they can get that information there. So I just sent you another link on the back chat.
Gotcha.
Firstamerica.com or fineartamerica.com. It says.
Gotcha.
Okay. And if you go on that map, we can pull it up together and you can actually find that. Now, this is a map from the 1591, an antique map of Florida. Again, you have to be able to go to the older maps in order to find what we're looking for. But you'll see, you see that big lake, that square lake that's there in the middle right there? Yeah, not that one, right? You see that crescent moon lake that's right there above it, that crescent moon water structure? Now go a little bit to the left of that. No, a little to the left of it, brother. Just a little bit over. Well, you got bad aim, boy. You can't. You ain't a shooter. You ain't a shooter. You ain't a shooter. No, go up on the crescent moon one. Now go over to the right. Go over to the right. There you
There's
go.
no point.
Yeah, you click on that, brother. Click on that right there. All right, where that crescent moon is. And let's see where that comes up. Okay, now does that show it right there? Can you scroll up a little bit? Remind me not to take you shooting. You can't hit nothing, bro.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you this no point right. Y'all been out trying me. I'm trying to tell you. I know. I got one with me though, but bet that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, it's the pointer though. But so where are you talking about? I'll blow it up.
That's the area. It's right there by that crescent moon area right there.
Uh-huh.
As you click on that, it'll actually pull up the exact area, which is right next to that water structure. Again, that's a different map than the map that I showed you originally. But I'm just showing that it was still there even at the later dates is what I'm trying to show. Is that these later dates, it still shows up on the map. Again, the name of that map is, what's the name of that map, Brother Taharko?
1 second, I'm coming. The name of this map is Antique Map of Florida, South and the Southeast.
And what year was that map right there, just so that people can pull it up for themselves?
1591.
Okay, so that's 1591. Okay, so let's see. We also have another map that I'm going to show you, which is a North Carolina map. It should be a North Carolina map of 1606, and you will still see it there also. So this is from the North Carolina map in 1606.
Okay. Yeah, I'm coming with you.
Okay.
North Carolina map.
Right.
Did you just send that?
I did, and I just sent a separate link to it again, just so you see another copy of it. So you can click on either one of those.
Okay, here we come, the North Carolina map, family. The North Carolina map. Bow. Right there.
And if you go to that North Carolina map, and again, you go to where that Florida is, just go to the left bottom foot of that guy. Yep, right there. Nope, you were just there. Just go to his right foot. Over to the right. Yep, right there. And if you click there, there you have it. And this is from a French map, I believe. This one, yeah, I think this one's from a French map. Let's see. Let me double check that, brother. No. That's from a Spanish map in 1606.
So this is definitely the same area that you showed initially on the first map.
Correct.
Oh.
This is from the same map that was seen when I was in South America. Absolutely. This is from the same map. And in 1662, we have the French map, and it comes up on the French map also. So that's 1662.
So the question becomes, is it all the same geographical location?
It's all the same geographical location,
okay,
showing that the Morocco comes up on the map in this area. And what we're identifying now, I contacted Sharif Bey, and what we're finding right now is when it stopped being used, because we have Morocco as the name of not only a town area, but also the name of a chief. And this chief was a neighboring chief of the Creek or Muskogee Indians. So as we're getting the information of identifying, well, we understand that it's coming up on these Carolina maps and on these Florida maps. We're trying to identify, since now that we can verify what people were saying, that it does come up on the map, we're doing topographical comparisons to find out what are the rivers. The reason why that's important is because this museum that I went to in South America, it's called Terra Mar. So Terra means land and Mar means water, like marine. So they specialize in the water areas, topographical data, as far as understanding how the land works, the minerals, and doing comparative studies on the minerals. That's why that's so important. So if you find the museums that specialize in this, we will also be able to give you the maps, and it starts to give you clarity on what you would maybe be looking for. Are you with me, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, brother to the gal, can you add anything that may be familiar to you in your studies to add into this conversation?
Well, I'm over here soaking it up.
Yeah, me too, boy. Me too, boy.
I'm like a kid over here clicking on the map, just reading the various.
I'm sitting up there listening to the brother. Yes, boy. Go ahead, boy.
Yeah, so as the brother was speaking, you know, I'm clicking on various aspects of the map and just kind of reading the names, seeing if any of those are recognizable, but also just processing it more. I mean, this is pretty profound, to say the least.
Yeah.
Because as the brother's saying, this is pre-USA, obviously, from the 1600s. And American history just really has to be rewritten. And when I say America, I mean what's commonly called the continent of North, South, and Central America. Because, you know, the narrative that the general public has been socialized with is totally false and very incomplete. You know, pre-Columbian America as well as pre-USA America looks very different than what's commonly believed. So, and this map's just honest to the brother and when he says his wife bought the tickets, you know, he wasn't thinking about it. You know, that gives us a sense of the fact that Allah is the best of planners and that we're on this mission and things are just unfolding
because you know, the fall of man occurred because man's will became sluggish. So our will to unearth this truth is so strong and becoming stronger, particularly the more we link up and join our collective efforts and energies together. You know, that collective will is becoming so strong that it's being revealed, and we know that in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple, chapter 47, verse 7.
That's right.
Where the prophet talks about, he says, their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa, across Great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake which caused the Great Atlantic Ocean. So, you know, a lot of that had been written off as myth. This was an unlearned gentleman. He was illiterate. Now we're seeing from the great research that Brother Ishmael Bey is doing and others, Sister Dana Marnisha, etc. The prophet is being substantiated academically in academia, which is very important as it relates to extending the web of the Moorish divine national movement, so that it can encompass a greater variety and diversity of our people, so that we can have all that we need to actually build.
Indeed, indeed. And what's amazing to me, before I pass it back to Ish, what's amazing to me is that old Moore told me one time, he said, Moore, he wasn't real sharp as we call each other these days. And he said, Moore, sometimes you got to let the information catch up with the prophet. Sometimes you just got to take your time, find the information, and let it catch up with the prophet. We got to catch up to the prophet. Moore, I don't know that right now. And so that just goes, man, this information that you're giving, Ish, because we hear brothers all the time. Matter of fact, on my show last week, I said, the brother said, we are in Al Morocco. This is Al Morocco. I said, brother, that may be true, but the prophet didn't call this place Al Morocco. But if we get together and put our heads together and be able to communicate with one another, this type of information can support the brother stance of this being, quote unquote, Al Morocco. And we don't have to try to drum up these fictitious stories. But we get so caught up in the trying to be superior in knowledge that we allow that even to divide us. So, brother, I'm telling you, brother, this is serious to me, because I tell people all the time, brother, you know, if the prophet ain't said it, you know what I mean? Don't be saying that the prophet said it. But in that same regard, the prophet, as I told the brother on the show, when the prophet, as my brother just quoted the chapter 47, you know, the prophet tells us that we are home. Right in chapter 47, for you to bring it up, and you're able to spell it out. Now, there's no conjecture. You're able to spell it out on maps before the United States was even thought of planting a flag, if you will.
And the one point that Brother Ishmael Bey made about the maps too, depending upon which nation commissioned the production of the map, Morocco is just French for Morocco.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they must be saying that like it's some mystical. I mean, you can go on Google now and see certain uniforms of the Moroccan people in modern day where they just have Morocco on there. It's just so if that was a French map, then you may see it spelled as Morocco. But the ones he showed us, these are Spanish, which we know. I'm going through this Dogs of God
Right
now, where speaking of the defeat of the last Moorish stronghold in Grenada by Ferdinand and Isabella, and the resulting Inquisition that resulted, and then the papal bulls that divinely sanctioned their recouping or actually gaining access to formerly held Moorish territories, because they had defeated the Moors in Spain. All this is interconnected.
Let's start it to the girl.
Yes, sir.
Bro, when you finish that, I really would like you to come on here and give a full presentation, because a lot of people still running with the narrative that Moors enslaved Africans when they don't even understand the papal bull. They don't understand that to say something silly like that, because Moors are Africans, you know,
Right.
that's silly in itself.
That's right.
But I think we need to re-educate our people as to why slavery was perpetrated against us in particular. It was a plan, and I think, brother, at a future date, brother, I would love for you to come and break that down. We
Yes,
need
sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot. Yeah, more because Africans were enslaving Africans before they ever saw a European. You know what I'm saying? That's why oftentimes it was so easy for the European to come in and take advantage of the situation, because the hardcore tribalism already existed. You know what I'm saying? So when they just say that the Moors enslaved Africans, we can go down the line of various people who enslaved others, and under which circumstances, war, prisoners of war, et cetera, et cetera. But everyone was involved in that business making enterprise. You know, transatlantic as well, trans-Saharan. You know,
Absolutely.
Sub-Saharan before. You know, so yeah, it's definitely the stories are much more complex than these linear narratives that's often, you know, and it was a process we had to go through. We had to learn that we were kings and queens. That was part of our development. Then we had to learn pride about what Africa and what's accomplishments, but we view it in such a infantile manner. And that's what Prophet gave us in identifying people according to nationalities. Because when we look with that larger American political outlook, oh, they all black. But no, it's simpler than that. Nigerians have a system of politics, et cetera, et cetera. Ghanaians, they're different nationalities. And beyond that, they're different tribes. So, you know, these things are much more complex than the simple narratives that we created as kind of feel-good mechanisms to deal with the trauma of the slave experience, you know, the aftermath.
Indeed.
Very
And
good
before I
point.
pass it back to my brother Ish, I'll be remiss. I want to go over with my brother Tunica L just quoted out of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, chapter 47, because I looked in the chat and somebody had the audacity to say that that's what Taj been saying. And that's what Taj said. Taj said that, you know, as if we don't give our prophet the honor for teaching Taj Tariq what he knows, with all due respect. We're not going to turn this into a Taj Tariq conversation, but I just want to read this, reiterate what my brother just read. The Prophet Noble Ali says this: before we even came upon this information, the Prophet Noble Ali scribes this here. This is verse 6, chapter 47. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. They were the founders and the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. Their dominion, we're talking about the Moroccan Empire, their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa across the Great Atlantis, reiterating what my brother Tunica L said, across the Great Atlantis, also the present North, South, Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands. The brother Ishmael was pointing out Bahamas, which would be a part of the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake which caused the Great Atlantic Ocean. So the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was the first to reveal this type of specific information as it relates to the Moroccan Empire long reach over the Atlantic Ocean, if you will. Brother Ish, take it away, brother.
Absolutely. I'm going to back that up with the science. I'm going to back that statement up with the science specifically. I want to bring two key points to it. We stopped at we took it to the 1606, which is a good thing. But I also want to show that even later, we still see the Morocco on the French maps also. It's not just limited to Spanish. We also deal with the French, and then we're going to tie into what we were just dealing with. So on that next link that I sent you on the back chat, again, do you see that Morocco down there? Same exact area. That's in 1662. You see that down there, Brother Tark? I just want to make sure that the record is clear. So that's from a French map. And that French map is dealing with Lemoyne's voyages. So I just want to make sure we use that. Now, the next article that's underneath that on the back chat, brother, that's dealing with Alabama being part of Africa. So I just want to make sure that we're just adding this to the record. Again, the name of the article, can you give us the name of that article, brother?
The name of the article is Piece of Africa Found Under Alabama. Sweet.
So we know that Alabama just north of Florida, which encompasses that Morocco area. So it backs up what the prophet taught about that part of Africa being here in America, and we've identified where Morocco is located. So again, the science, if you'd like to read that, again, it says 250 million years ago, Africa slammed into North America and left a scar that can be seen today with special instruments. This is why we're dealing with the topographical science. Understanding that the same mineral bands, people wonder why Florida is so fertile, because it's Africa. Africa is the most fertile land on the planet. So the same plants that you can find there will grow in the same exact area because it's the same exact soil. So understanding how the soil operates, then you can make the statement. We don't have to make the statement. The European has made the statement that Alabama is a part of Africa. So it backs up what the prophet was saying, and it's on us as scientists to show and prove the statements that are made, which is light work. It's very easy to do. If your heart is right, if your motive is to go and start printing up license plates and running around and getting in courtrooms and putting people's life in jeopardy and getting people shot and getting their babies taken from them, that's why the truth's not revealed to you. If your motives are pure and you're around good-hearted people who want the same thing that you want, we can give you this information for free. But you know what's going to happen? People are going to take this free information so that they can continue their wicked hustles. I already know how that goes down. So I invited the people that I love, that I respect. And I could say, Ali's men, I love them.
That's Pete.
Can they all come, or can representatives come? Brother Tahaka Bey, I love you. Can I do this on your show as opposed to just doing it on my show? I want my right-hand man here because that's somebody who I love and respect.
Yes, sir.
So we have good hearts and we have the right spirit. So Allah blesses us and will continue to bless us with the truth. While the wicked people will take that information and they will use it for their own purposes so that they can continue their hustle, but we're weeding them out and they're on the ropes and the truth is being revealed one way or the other. But I just encourage people to always seek truth in the right way. Always seek truth and try to build with people with good character. I'm not holy. I'm far from holy. But I try to deal with good people because it keeps me on a righteous path. And I encourage all Moors to do the same thing. Do it in the name of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Yes, sir.
Do it in the right spirit and build up your sisters, build up your brothers, and build up your children. This is what we're trying to do today.
Indeed. Indeed.
There's a lot. That's real, Mo.
Hey, bro, I'm trying. You know, let me do this real quick. I'm watching the chat, right? And you got me feeling like Puffy in the 90s. Slow down, son, you're killing them. Who's filling them with octane? Bro,
got him gassed up, about to get blasted up.
Yeah, man. This information, man, got me dizzy, man. And I'm looking at the chat, and unfortunately, I just came off going at the information that Taj was talking, because everybody talking about somebody sneak dishing Taj. Family, nobody is thinking about Taj Tariq Bey on this show, okay? Why didn't you just soak in this information? This is cutting edge information. This brother and his wife spent their money to travel, and while they were on vacation, because he's such a bona fide scholar, he said, hold up, wait a minute, this can help the people. So he took his vacation time, which in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we believe that when work becomes a joy, it's no longer work. So his work is a joy, and he spent his time gathering and collecting information and then put things together. And you think it's all about sneak dissing somebody. Come on, brother. Come on. We need to come together and do better than this, brother. Brother Ish, take it away, brother Ish. Let me ask you a question real quick before you go.
Of course.
So when we talking about that, the Florida area would be considered, let me decline that. The Florida area, the location which you pointed out, would be a part of Morocco. Would it be safe to say that our forefathers, however they got here, before or after the fact, the continental divide, that they just extended it and named it, or you think that it was originally named that before the divide or after the divide, they just carried it with them?
I think the best thing that I can do, and the most responsible thing that I can do, is let you know that I could only make a guess right now. What we're trying to track down right now is where the name originated from and why it was called that.
That's what I'm talking about. You say it better.
And that's why in science you tread lightly. Informations and stick your chest out because somebody's going to open it up. Normally, I'm the chest opener. So the people who stick their bird chest out there, I put my fist in it. So I don't step out there and say, "Oh yes, for sure." No. What we do is we study it to find out. Man, we know for a fact that it's here. We know for a fact that this is Morocco and that it's here in this particular area. Now, how did it get here and why is it here? The area that I'm from in Alabama is called Andalusia.
Mm-hmm.
And that Andalusia, Alabama, got that name because of the trade routes that it was taking.
Mm-hmm.
They say that it was because of the Spanish trade routes, but it's a fact. It is a fact that the president, Andrew Jackson, was a citizen of Spain. That's a fact. He was not a U.S. citizen. We had no dual citizenship at that time, and he was a sworn citizen of Spain. Now, if he was a sworn citizen of Spain, which is a fact, I speak facts. If he was a sworn citizen of Spain, who was he waging war on? Moors, because he's the person who was responsible for the Trail of Tears. Look at where I'm from, the Andalusia, Alabama, in Connecticut County, Alabama. And I know for a fact that we're of the founding families there because we still own the land there, and I already shared that information with you. So when you see the Andalusia, Alabama, and you start to see where the Morocco is, and you start to see the sworn citizen of Spain that people don't even know about, that's hanging up in Donald Trump's Oval Office right now.
Now, brother Ish,
you need to start.
We got a brother,
yes, sir.
I don't mean to cut your wisdom. We got a brother in the chat that says, "How is this Morocco show and prove?" You must have just came in. The brother just showed maps and from the 1500s that he got. He acquired the information from South America on vacation at a museum called Tata Ma, and you will have to go back at the beginning of the show and check it out. If you have a problem with it, you can inbox me or on Facebook, or you can email me at tahakabay@yahoo.com, or you can reach out to Ishmael Bey or Amin Ra African Moorish Scholarship and reach out to him. If you think that the brother is in error, he's willing to have a conversation about it. And I'm willing to host the conversation, because I don't think when I talking about debating and all that, I'm not talking about the horse and pony show. I really want to get to the information. And I think a debate is a good way so the people can decide what's real and what's not. See, we learn in the Moorish Science Temple of America, a soldier never knows his strength until he meets his foe. And so when two people come together, steel sharpens steel, or maybe your sword might just collapse and break. And so that's why I don't mind the debate thing. Long as we don't get into the cursing, long as we don't get into the street gangster bravado, man, I'm good with the intellectual what they call it, jousting, if you will. I don't have no problem with that. So if anybody got a problem with it, talkabout@yahoo.com, Ishmael Bey on Facebook. Catch us. Let's get it done. So go ahead, Ish. I just had to say that because the brother put it out there that like show and prove, but you already did that.
Absolutely, and I welcome the brother to be able to look over the show and check out the sources. I would like for your listeners to realize. I think I'm hearing a bit of an echo. But I'd like for your viewers to realize that what they can do is they can view the map that is not limited to South America. I've tracked the map down, and the map is available here in America for the people to see. So what the people can do is I've sent you a link on Facebook, brother, on your inbox. You have 2 pictures. If you go to that, not the very last one, but the one just above that, brother, that will show you the information on the map that we can go over, as well as where the map can be viewed for your team. We have, again, speaking.
That's the side chat.
It's in your Facebook. It's in your Facebook.
Okay, give me a second. I just closed. I'm about to go to my Facebook now. Go ahead, my brother.
So I was discussing it with Ali's men, and Sharif Bey has said that he will also be sending a delegation to the university so that we can go and we can get that information firsthand. It's not limited to that 6 foot by 6 foot copy that I saw in South America. You can go and see the original. The original is purchased here at a university. And I just want you to be able to pull that up so you can show it to your viewers, brother, that it's not just overseas, but it's right here.
I'm on it right now.
Okay, so you just let me know when you pull that up, and I'll give you the specs on that as you're pulling it up. The number of the map is 09887. The map title is Occidentals Americae Partes.
Let me do it this way. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna do it a different way because I want to blow it up.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna quickly just blow it up. So okay, I got you. Occidental. Here we go. I just wanted to blow it up.
Yes, sir. Exactly. Yeah, that's so they can see the best of it.
See if this will work without making it pixelate real quick. Okay, because I just grabbed the first thing I could, and that's called paint. So don't y'all clown.
Well, okay, so that's another one, but that's the one where you actually buy it. You can buy the map yourself. If you got 37 racks, you can go and you can buy the map for your personal. It's going to be the black and white version. It's not going to be the color version. But if you got your money right, see, this is why y'all need to be donating. When Taharka Bey is asking for the donations, these are things that you could be getting, sisters and brothers. You could be getting a map for 37 racks. You can own it. You can own it. We can have it in our own Moorish American museum, brother.
Indeed. That's right. Let me go back and see what else you got there.
Yeah, the one that's just I think it's just above it, I believe, brother.
All right. 37 racks for a map. Good.
Wow. I guess it must be pretty important, huh?
Absolutely. They don't want somebody to get that map.
But it is for sale. And I believe that should be an indication that it's an authentic map. If that's just a copy of it, it is running for 37 racks. Now, this is one. If you pull that up real close in that black line right there, it'll tell you.
John Carter Brown Library. Original in the John Carter Brown Library at Brown University.
Ooh, there you go. Brown University. If you want to go see the original map, go to Brown University. Again, we have a delegation of Ali's men going there so that we can make sure we get the original copy of the map for you. so that you can have it on your records. And you'll find fascinating things on that map. As I'm able to go through it, you find Havana, you find, of course, the Bahamas, you find various names that are still in existence today, of course, Gulf of Mexico. But it's a nice, beautifully made, rich map. So going into those Spanish records and those French records, if you notice, either it's in debate or just through educating, Brother Ishmael pulls up a lot of those French records when I started dealing with the Nar history and killing them, hitting them in the head with that history. That was pulling up the French records, the court records, showing that the Moors were in the courtroom, going to the plantations.
Yes, sir.
Those are French records.
Yes, sir.
So that's why we emphasize that. And Brother Tunica Il can verify that also. And Brother Obalafia can verify that also.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We go into these records because they obtain that history because it's pre-American history. English was late to the game.
That's right.
They got the slot. They separated from England, so they was late to the game. They're babies. The French already had all of Canada, and then they not only had Canada, they called what was called the Crescent Trade Route. So they ruled from Canada using the Crescent Trade Route, which took them all the way to Louisiana. So when you wonder why they speak French up in Canada, and then they had forts going all the way from Canada in certain areas in a crescent moon shape that took you all the way to the French in New Orleans. So you got to understand how they work those rivers.
Yeah, because even the Cajuns came from Nova Scotia up in Canada all the way down to Louisiana.
Exactly, and they were following the rivers and following the forts. So they actually split up America. The French had basically that left side from the Mississippi to the west. They were running that part because the Spanish wanted to take the Florida and run all the way up the other side. So there were always wars taking place between the French and the Spanish, and the Africans and the Native Americans were always in the middle of all of that mess. So you have those Black people who speak French and that rich Creole culture. But right next to it, you have that rich Spanish culture. And Moors were in the middle of all of that. So the link, and to bear witness to this, the last link that I put in there, you'll see one on that back chat, Brother Taharka. It'll say translators.
Yes, I got it up now.
So if you pull up that link that says translators, what it does is it proves that Moors were being used as interpreters for the Seminole Indians.
Wow.
That's not a quote from me. That's a quote from the history books that proves that Moors were the interpreters.
And multilingual.
So it says the Cimarrons, which are the Seminoles, from the Spanish Cimarrones, formerly the word used to describe as escaped Black slaves, right, in reference to the second entry, to their Moorish origins. I didn't say it.
To
the history book
Moorish origins.
The Spanish Cimarron is used to denote a wild or untamed person when combined with a Negro or esclavo, meaning is a runaway or fugitive slave. Such associations are not appropriate in this dramatic context, since the modern English word Cimarron or Cimarroon, denotes only a type of Rocky Mountain sheep or bighorn as the interpreters for the Seminole Indians.
Indeed. And it's also from that facts. And it's from that Cimarron where we get Maroons as well. The word Maroons.
Good goodness and gracious.
I think Ishmael got lost on the call, family.
Well, whatever the case may be, he gonna be
haymakers.
Yeah, this is serious information. You know, when you start looking at information, like I let people know off the break, man. I'm not your scholar, man. I'm your John the Baptist. I'm the one that make the holler and say, man, let's get it together. The truth is about to come, man. Everybody, let's roll. It's on the way. It's on the way. Leave that junk alone. It's on the way. And I send the call out, you know, and then we have brothers like the brothers of Ali's Men and Brother Ishmael Bey, and man, this here right here is something serious. I don't care what nobody say. We can get into. I look in this chat. Everybody want to compare information with this and that. I'm saying this is the type of information that you don't dispute off the break. This is the type of information you take some notes, you take it back, and then you research it. This is that type of information. This is not that type of information where you want to just test. It's like going in front of a lecture, in front of a professor, and now you want to test the lecturer, the professor, as he's lecturing his class. Nah, take your notes, go on back, and then come again. TaharkaBey@yahoo.com if you have any issues. Ish back in the building. Come on with it, Ish.
Yes, sir. And again, it's backing up the statements that have always been made.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, it's a footstep. You combating me is number one, it's an L. Number two, I just don't have time for it. I'm not going to waste my time with it. What is there to battle? I'm presenting information showing that Morocco is in the West. It's backing up what you're saying. What are you disputing? What are you arguing with me about? It shows you got a foul-ass spirit. That's what it means to me.
That's right.
It means that you're just in a combative mood and you're just antagonistic. You're a troll.
Yes,
To
sir.
speak on
And you have it in your spirit.
Ish, to speak on that, I noticed that in the chat one day earlier this week, somebody was being combative with you about the information that you was putting out.
Right.
Speaking to this topic right here. And
Sure. And that happens a lot as far as just people are just, you know, antagonistic and they have that troll spirit. And I understand where that comes from. I'm in my 50s, man. I don't got no time for that. I'll be honest with you. I don't got time for it. I'm here to present the information that's going to back up what's always been stated. Now, if you have a problem with that, you have to understand why would you have a problem with that? If I'm presenting information and not even combating what you're saying, what's your issue? My job is to show and prove what's already been stated. What's your issue with me? If you have an issue with me showing on the map what other people have been stating, you just foul.
So,
Yes,
so
sir.
Ish, you think there will come a day when we'll be able to go and re-dig up, if you will, the Moorish culture in the West? Because I'm almost guaranteed, I don't know, that it would differ from, I say, in the East, if you will. You know how people change geographical location and they take on their own cultural overtones and tradition. You think there'll come a time where we can actually see the culture of the Moors in the West and live in color? Because right now, everybody is trying to gravitate to, I'm indigenous, I'm indigenous, I'm indigenous. Yet you don't see anything that that displays the indigenous culture outside of what the European has given them. What you've given us now, it's something unique, and it's not what the quote-unquote European in America has given us. So you think there will come a time when we'll be able to have a clear painted picture of, even if it's kind of fragmented, but some type of clear picture of the culture that our people lived on these shores in the West?
Yes, because I think that the goals and the vision of what Amin Ra Squad represents is that our job is to go to the plantations. My daughter has already gone as a university student. She's gone to Bermuda for 2 weeks and gone to the slave museums and done archaeological digs with the university as an archaeological student. My daughter did that. My oldest daughter did that. So the Beys are already on the case. The Beys and the Eels and the Alis, we're on the case. We're going to our own plantation museums and reaching out to these professors and getting the respect and the assistance from these professors. You've seen it firsthand, the stuff that I was sending out to, and this is not new. I was reaching out to Dr. Jack Forbes before he even passed away, and reaching out to Dr. Gwendolyn Middle Hall while she's still alive, knowing that she's going into her 90s and she won't be with us anymore, building up these relationships.
That's right, man.
We are already on the case to make sure that we are dealing with the doctors and the professors and the experts in these fields, building up these relationships properly. Damn license plate and go right around. We're here to make sure that we are getting our culture back,
Hey, Ish,
foundation back.
how do we get through? Maybe I'll pass this to Miguel. What do you think is an effective way to get to our people? Even you don't have to join the Moorish Science Temple of America, forget that. But to get to our people to the point to understand our rich culture, history, and heritage as Moors. because I think that is the link that will tie us all together. You
Yes,
Moorish,
sir.
Moorish descent, and you have to carry yourself with some respect. You can't say yourself Moorish, but you cussing people out, you disrespecting the sisters. You think you can live what you want you want to call the colonists, but you act just like them. If you want to be more, or you say that you're more, and you know you are more descent, it comes a quality of character with that. What do you think is an effective way to at least let people know? Listen, you don't have to join the Moorish Science Temple of America, but let me show you who you are. How do we get that message through? Because some people are hell bent on believing that black is a culture, that black is it, that's all. But black, you can't define black, because black is such a ambiguous term. It's just a general term. But when you talk about war, there's a rich culture in that. How do we get that through to our people?
Well, we definitely have to show mutual respect for our people. You know, even if we disagree, their culture under the term black is real to them. They found identity in that, value in that, culture, scholarship, music in that. And we have to accept that if you want to have a conversation with someone. You meet them where the commonality that y'all share, and then if you're trying to impart some wisdom or knowledge, etc., with them, it's a sharing. It's not that old holier than thou. I'm high because I have this piece of knowledge, and because you don't, you're ignorant. You know, that antagonistic spirit, that haughty spirit that some Moors assume when they get a little taste of this knowledge. And that's how we know they don't really have the adjoining code that's attached to the knowledge, because of the way they're demonstrated. Because I'm looking and wondering if we're reading the same book. Because my book is about, we have to be humble. Right. Man sees a lot not alike. The prophet tells us that for a reason. Man sees a lot not alike, so everyone not gonna see it like you do. Right. Right. But it's only you can receive those reciprocal helps and mutual obligations within the bands of society. So you have to allow other people to be, and you be the best example of what you would like to see.
That's right. I agree with that, brother. I agree with that, brother. That's one of my sayings. And I tell people all the time, especially in the temple setting, if you say they ain't doing something right in the temple, you become the leader that you expect. That's it. That's all I can tell you. You know, my thing is,
once you come that haughty, then people want to tear you down. And then they observing you like, okay, you talking all this high knowledge, but I'm looking at your situation and there's a disconnect somewhere. Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? What you have brought to the plane of things made manifest doesn't match up with the haughty spirit that you have and what you claim and the knowledge that you claim to have acquired. Right. And then you become a jester, a joke.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, in our studies, we should be striving to be the best example of what we represent as Moorish Americans, because our ancestors, man, they were exquisite in manners, in the way they dressed, the way they presented themselves, the way they wrote, the way they made music.
Talk that talk.
And when you're talking about Moorish culture in the West, much of what they call Spanish culture is Moorish culture.
Yes, sir.
We were in Spain almost 800 years, right? So it's just Moorish culture through a Roman Catholic lens. But the rhythms, the food, the thought, the philosophy, the architecture, all that is Moorish. So so Moorish culture here is the West. You're looking at it, and oftentimes you refer to it as Spanish.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you see that same culture in repetition in so many areas. When you're there at Bonaire and you go to the different areas of South America, you're looking at people like you're looking at yourself. It's the same common vibration. They know that they have African history. They know that they're a mixture of Spanish and African people. They know that they have the mix of the indigenous people. And when you look at them, you feel them, you know them, you talk to them, you ask questions, you know that you're speaking to family, but you don't even know where Bonaire is. You don't even hear about it. And these are the people who have the maps of who you are. It's amazing. So again, it's just making yourself receptive. And I love that definition of the hardy spirit, because you're absolutely correct. And in the Quran, it's called having that spirit of a bliss. You have that fire, but it's a bit of a jealousy and hate. You don't want somebody. So even though you wear a fez like the next person wear a fez, you know that it's interrupting your hustle. So you hate him. You hate her. For how dare they get us away? I got to destroy that. And then I have to put my spin on it so I can keep my hustle going. How dare they give it away? How dare they represent the temple? How dare he be outside the temple and speak on behalf of the temple? How dare he be inside the temple and not deal with anybody outside the temple? So it's a hate. Yeah, it's hate, right? So it's that bliss spirit that we are always combating to make sure that, you know what, brother, sister, whoever, if you have that kind of spirit, you go ahead and you do you. I've been blessed on so many different levels that the abundance of blessings that I get, I don't even ask for them and they come my way, only because Allah knows my intent. I'm not out to manipulate or harm anyone. I'm not out to destroy anyone. I'm a humble person. I am kind of fierce. I have a mean streak, but I'm a very humble person, and Allah knows that about me and knows that the people who I interact with, that they have the same type of spirit that I do.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nobody no punks. Nobody in the ciphers are punk. If I'm speaking to you on a regular basis, you're not a punk. So, but you're a man and you're a woman, and we treat each other with respect as Moors, and that's the way we should interact with one another.
And I want to say to those who I literally embrace the term Temple Moors. They used to call that like that was a shot back a few years ago. Oh, them Temple Moors, them Temple Moors, them Temple Moors. I say, okay, sure. The prophet was a Temple Moor, so am I, of course. But I want to say something to brothers and sisters who not a part of the temple. If you claiming to be a Moorish American, at least do yourself a favor and study what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought, so no one can give you a twisted version of what it is to be a Moorish American. And I say that when I talk to my brother Ishmael Bey, he's not a part of any temple, but he's just a part of the Moorish National Divine Movement and anybody else. Why do I say that? Because he protects the prophet, he protects the temple, and he has integrity when he speaks. And if he's in error, he has no problem with coming forth. I haven't caught his error yet. That's just me. Somebody else may. I haven't caught his error yet. But the point that I'm making is this old temple Moor and outside the temple Moor, there shouldn't be no conflict of beef in reality, but we need to have mutual respect for one another. You don't have to agree with me. But if I think that you are taking the works of Prophet Noble Drew Ali out of context, it could be Ishmael Bey, it could be anybody. If I feel as though you taking it out of context, I'm not going to curse you out. I'm not going to tell you some old filthy old Negro type of do Negro type of gestures and vernacular. I'm not doing any of that. I'm saying I'm going to show and prove, and I invite you to show and prove, to disprove what I'm saying. And that's it. It's all intellectual. It's all intellectual, and it's all about information of getting to the truth. That's it. I have nothing against anybody per se, unless you try to harm me. Then we got a problem. But other than that, I don't have no beef. I mean, come on, man. And in reality, we are all in the same pot, and the heat is turned up and it's bubbling. So for us to come at each other, it's natural in this environment right now. But we must get control of ourselves and understand that we all just trying to get to the truth. That's it. Anybody want to take us up out?
Hey, that's the Moors I know, brother. You gladly find an example of the Moors I know, and that's why I love listening to your show, brother Tahaka Bey, Ali's man. You are fine examples. I'm a brother who came from that gangster era. I can't lie, and it takes brothers like yourself, Sharif Bey, Ishmael, to sometimes let me see what real men look like. That all that hooping and hollering and cursing is about nothing. And I commend you, brothers, because you are an example for me today.
Man, look, our brother told me just earlier today. Man, he called me all sorts of chumps. He called me all sorts. I mean, he went all overboard. This is supposed to be a Moorish brother. Called me all sorts of names on Facebook. But I'm the type of person like this. For real. I mean, I'm not a tough guy, nothing, but I can handle my own. But I can't handle my own with words on Facebook. So I just say, I'm out, brother. If you want to talk about more sides, we can do it. I can't handle my own with a keyboard. I just don't do that. He said, let's do it right here. Do what? There's nothing to do right here. I'm up out of here. At the end of the day, I just want to try to build with people so we can get to the truth. Let's get to the truth, because the truth is going to liberate us at the end of the day. So let's get on up out here. Ishmael Bey, you got anything else you want to add, brother?
Brother Tahaka Bey, I'm just glad. I want to thank you again for opening up your platform and giving us an opportunity. It can never be said that Morocco has never been seen on a map. That was a long-standing quote. There ain't no Morocco on no map. There ain't no this and that and that. We've proven that Africa was a part of Alabama.
It's not.
We've proven
Hold on. It's not.
Yes, sir.
Not. I got Curry and Lindale. You there, brother?
Yes, sir.
Hey, brother, you live on Moorish TV. You called me at a bad time, but it's a good time. Hold on. See, this what unity is. My brother, just call me. That's Curry and say it's love to the Moorish world, brother.
Peace, family.
Islam.
Islam.
Yes,
So, brother, was you trying to steal my show? Hold on. Let me put you up here. Let me put you on the mic, brother. All right. All right. Go ahead. Handle your biz, brother.
Yeah, I'm just grateful to hear about the brother Ishmael Bey sharing what he came across in terms of Morocco being here in the West. I'm just grateful for that. You know, I couldn't wait. That's why I called you, brother, in your inbox.
Hey, that's the greatest thing for the Unity Temple. And but brother, name your temple, brother. Tell the people where you at.
Well, I'm the Grand Governor of the state of
well, that too.
My brother's the Grand Governor here, Newport News, Virginia.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's my good
and
brother.
Ali's man too now.
And Ali's man too. That's my good brother.
Sir.
Who's it? Curry Lindale?
So I'm coming right.
Hey, I don't want to mess you up, because if it's Corey, let me know. This brother Kerry. It's twins. Yeah, that's Tunica Hill. He on the show tonight.
Oh, Islam.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what happened. Go ahead. What you ready to say?
No. You go ahead, brother. You go ahead.
I was going to say, Tunica Hill been watching from the background. I've been losing my mind. I've been going at everybody. Tunica Hill said, I'm going to show up with this baritone and calm my brother down. So I had to calm down tonight. He said, I'm going to do some poetry or something, but I got to calm my brother down. And it worked. Yeah. So what you was ready to say, boy?
Was interesting about the map that the brother found. I found a map similar to that, and he spoke about the languages earlier, like the German language, for instance. I found a map that's only available at 7 universities that confirmed what the brother was talking about. But in addition to it, and I'll show it, I don't know if the Moors will be able to see it from my inbox, but I do have it in a book that I just wrote called The Key of Civilization. going with my history and time, connecting the dots. This map here. Can the Moors see that?
Let me see. Hold up. Here we go. Let me look at my camera.
Oh yeah, yes sir, yes sir.
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to note that this was it's called the Das, and you got pardon my German, but it's called the Das Mergegen Niedergang. Pardon me, DASMERGEGENNIDERGANG. It's called the Carta Marina of Friesis, 1525, and it says issued in 1525, an exposition of his theories of sea charts. The map is of interest as the sole instance in which North America is called a part of Africa. And the shape of what Ishmael Bey showed us earlier about Florida is similar. It's the same. It displays the same rivers, etc. So, I mean, I thought that was interesting that the brother found a city in the southeast region of North America called Morocco. I enjoyed the show. I honestly enjoyed the show. Praise Allah.
Excellent. Hey, brother.
Thank you for adding on to that, King. Thank you so much, God. I appreciate that.
Hey, look. Now look. When my brother, now, hard as it is for me to get in touch with my brother sometimes because he's so busy, and he come on here and say he enjoyed the show. Man, look, it is finished. The last word Jesus said, it's finished. It's finished. I appreciate you, boy. We about to wrap it up, and I'm trying to get you on the show soon. You know that, right?
I'm with it, brother. I'm with it. And brother Ishmael Bey and my big brother, the son of Kim, if he can get on, I appreciate that too. Hey,
brother, we family just trying to wake up the people. So whatever we need, we bring out the big guns. I got a little pellet gun. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know that my pellet gun, you know, can do a little bit damage. But then when I bring out the big guns, I'm just get out of the way. I got no pellet gun, no pellet. Pew. My brother, I appreciate you, my brother. Peace and love. Look, and I ain't playing. Listen, man. Look. I really do have a little teeny pellet gun because I'm not a scholar. I mean, listen. I'm more in a cup for the cough of my brother next to the girl. What's his name again, brother? I'm a little bit rough around the head. I'm a little rough around the edges, man. I'm working on it.
Energy, brother. I feel you a lot, bro.
I'm working on it. But these brothers are bona fide scholars. And again, I think it'd be in the best interest of anyone who wants to learn Moorish science, authentic Moorish history. I mean, go on. I mean, it might be hard to get in Ali's Men now because they got trolls and all that. But send a request to Ali's Men page on Facebook. Definitely send a request to Amen Ra Squad, African Moorish Scholarship, because a lot of these links normally Ishmael Bey will post it right on that site, and so you don't have to go dig too far. It'll be right there on that in that group. So if you're on Facebook, Amen Ra Squad, Moorish. Is that right? Moorish Scholarship, something like that. African Moorish Scholarship. That's what it is. Amen Ra Squad, African Moorish Scholarship, and it's right on that page. But Ishmael, I appreciate you, brother. Hey,
Yes,
to
sir.
the girl.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, Mo.
Brother, when can I get you out here with that demonstration that you're reading, brother? We need that. We need this type of scholarship at least once a month, twice a month, something like that. More, because they're gonna get tired of me beating these people up more. I can't just do a whole show beating up people all the time. It ain't gonna work. Moorish World TV gonna be retired in like 3 months.
Yeah, we have to build and destroy, you know. Yes, sir.
They already tell me, you still talking about Dodge? Why you still talking about Dodge? I said, ain't nothing else to talk about. What? No, I'm just joking. But anyway, man, I appreciate y'all. Hey, brother, I feel like when I see you, brother, you give off the energy. And this is why it's so good to interface with people. Say your name again, brother.
Obalapia.
Obalapia. I'm gonna forget it like 5 more times. But anyway,
that's
I still
cool, brother. I'll friend request you later.
Yeah, please do. But you know what I feel like? I feel like the brother in Scarface. I ain't worried about no ish. I need a bodyguard. You want a job? Mama need that job.
I'm already dutifully employed, but like you were saying, I feel like I protect Noble Drew Ali because I teach love instead of hate. I carry myself on another level, on a higher level. So I'm a Moorish American.
That's right.
You know, I'm not a Temple Moor. I look up to you brothers because you brothers keep that line, which sometimes I can't keep that line. But I'm a Moor, and I'm going to hold myself to that standard, family.
And check this out. What people don't understand is that most, and I'm not going to say most because that'd be a group, that'd be irresponsible. Many Moors that was with the prophet wasn't inside the temple.
That's right, Mo.
It just wasn't possible. It was impossible for every Moor that was registered holding a nationality card to be inside the temple. They didn't have the space. The math just didn't add. So when the prophet started talking about 3,000 Moors and Detroit got 5,000 and these numbers, they didn't have no place to hold no 5,000 Moors. So, but the Moors was united in thought, you know, that we are on a mission to move in the same direction. And that's where we got to get back to, you know. But my thing is, when people started slinging that mud and saying the temple is church, and they ain't been to the temple in 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, or never went, and talk about the temple is church and all that. Like, leave that alone. That's sacred ground. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. Because then I'm going to get worked up. But on the flip side of that, you don't never have to come to the temple if it doesn't fit you. If that suit don't fit you, don't put it on. But don't let it disunite you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let it.
That's right.
Period. Point. So with that, man, we're going to get up out of here, man. And anything else to the girl?
Yeah, I just want to end on that note, more what you was just saying, because, you know, Noble Drew Ali is beyond being a prophet of our locals. You know, we see him as a prophet of humanity. It's like the lessons he brought and anyone study and apply these lessons can raise themselves up, you know what I'm saying, improve their character, get a greater sense of a code of ethics, how to deal with society, your wife, your children. It's a full package. It's Islam, you know what I'm saying? Islam Fubu, you know, he's the founder of Islam Fubu, you know what I'm saying, for us and by us, that eventually branched off in many different branches that carried on and made such an impact on the planet. And you know what I'm saying?
Teach hard, Ali. Teach hard, Ali. That's right. Teach hard.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir. So honors to my brother Ishmael Bey. Thank you more for, you know, much gratitude for the your efforts, the invitation, and yeah, that was a profound measure that you dropped in. You know, the scholars have to go back, rethink, appropriate it, see where it fits, et cetera, when we propagating the faith.
All praise is due to Allah.
And I want to say that all of y'all that has watched this show that always seem to want to use information to be combative, don't use this to be combative. Use this information to uplift your brother and sister. Now you got something that you can stand on when you say this is our Morocco. Now you got something that's tangible when you say we are in Morocco. You're just not saying it now. The brother gave you something tangible. Up until today, I don't remember seeing too much tangible. I just hear a lot of people talking. I hear them associating it with the teachers of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, which is right and exact. But here comes this brother coming with maps, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Russian, German. Now, probably not all of them, but you get my point. The brother just came with something tangible. And so now you have something to stand on. And let's not use that to battle your brother and sister. And we're going to go out with my brother, Tuna KL. Check it out. I got my picture on the wall. You got yours on the wall? I'm right here.
I got to get you a couple more tracks, bro.
You got to. I say this all the time. You guys see that? It's Julie Gale. So you started in the profit, huh? So you started. Hey, look. This is what I be telling people. I got this from Julie Gale. So you smarter than the founder, huh? Hey, and Lord Albert, he murdered this verse. He murders it. Listen to this. Let's go.
Killed that one. He bodied that one.
Oh, you smarter than the founder, huh? I then demonstrate. Unity and our Lord had to congregate.
Shout out to the chat, man.
Who I lead is, who we say it is. Well, let's check the record of the business. Stepped upon the scene in 1925 in Chicago. All by himself. Less than 4 years multiplied his wealth and economic infrastructure. Gave lawless Asiatics some structure. Taught young Moorish men to preserve and seed their structure. Prepare the scripture and a prayer custom. Standing reverently upright. A lot of cheeks are uptight and they tightly wound. I'm like a hound. They got a scent of a rabbit. This rabbit disrespect of our God. We can't let them walk on by. And you come in with all that innovation, puffed up with conceit in your demonstration. The feds is black for this execution.
Check it out.
In my
Yes, sir.
That's the name, man. That's my girl. And it's my girl, I'm trying to tell you. Look. There's a picture on the wall. The prophet sits upon
his throne.
Watch Lord Abba murder this verse.
There's a picture on the wall.
Abba, man, watch this.
There's a picture on the wall. The prophet sits upon his throne.
Slow. Sir.
There's a picture on the wall.
Hey.
The prophet sits upon his throne.
Slow.
Counting marching silent soldiers, the Roman force couldn't hold us. Did the Inquisition hitting and read us? The prophet chose us, the holy fire unfroze us. From the 3 degrees of the dead flame rose us. Perpendicular demonstrations gesticular, standing on my square with that pickaxe hitting you in the temple till you recognize the temple. Look, killer dad status, all that matters, that's simple. The true man, the last street Khalid, Sultan City, Muhammad the third's heir, having right here. My brother is right here. The prophet brought the truth to us. When I spit like this, I can make the whole booth combust. Bring a swinging scimitar sharpen. Shirts not throw burn straight like sharpen. They stood high. New Moses is moving about. If you hate it, you should be demonstrating out the Bible. Stop hating no rules.
Come on, man.
In my
Y'all ready? Thank y'all, man. I want to thank y'all. For joining us. Man, look. Let me thank y'all for joining us on Moorish World TV. If y'all want to talk economics, whatever y'all want to talk about, if you can bring the heat and teach the people, keep them interested, email me at taharkabey@yahoo.com. It doesn't matter whether you're part of a temple or whether you are part of a Moorish group. Just bring Moorish character as it relates to the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and his holy work called the Moorish Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Moorish character. That's paramount. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm about, baby.
Islam. Trying to be your friend, man. Trying to be your friend, bro.
It's meet me
love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more.
Man, look, I be all pumped up, man. My son gotta go to school tomorrow. My son go wake up. Boy, get up. I wonder why he tired. Because we talk about pictures on the wall and peace and love. But we gonna go out like it's supposed to. Taji, relax. I'll be there in a minute. Let's go.
Like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't ever gonna meet one again. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. Hey yo, I used to be a thug until I met the prophet. Now I'm all about love, truth, peace, and freedom till I return to Allah. One day we gon' meet him. I'm all about justice. That's the focus of the message. Sometimes